Right now at noon, the flooding is continuing to take a toll on Madison area lakes as they are seeing historic high levels. Plus, a confirmation hearing underway for Brett Kavanaugh to become the next member of the United States Supreme Court. And Tropical Storm Gordon could turn into a hurricane. How people along the Gulf Coast are preparing for the possible storm.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Tuesday. Hope you all had a good holiday weekend. It's sort of a fake Monday around here. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast for a lot of kids' first day of school. And take the umbrella.
Take the umbrella, that's right. Now, we did get some sunshine out there, which has been very much welcome, but we're still watching for that possibility of additional showers and thunderstorms to return to the picture. In fact, it's an alert day today and tomorrow. Some of those thunderstorms today could be on the strong to severe side, but we're also watching that potential for some heavy rainfall. Speaking of severe weather, you see the severe weather outlook here in Madison. It's the mainly northern and western sides of town. They're at a marginal risk for severe weather, but the strongest thunderstorms, those will likely be across portions of northern Adams and Juneau and portions of Monroe County. So we're talking if you live up near Camp Douglas and over towards Nacita, those are going to be some of the better areas to see some of those stronger showers and thunderstorms as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, and then areas north and west of that. But we're tracking the showers right now mainly up near the Twin Cities and into the Northwoods right now, just south of Superior. But that river of moisture goes all the way back to the Gulf Coast of Texas even, and that's just streaming upward and into parts of Wisconsin. So we're going to watch the flood threat for our friends there. But outside of the rain, it's a mix of sun and clouds, and oddly enough, a little bit beautiful out there. The temperature 84 degrees. We'll likely see temperatures into the mid and upper 80s for those highs today, already exceeding that forecast high of 83. So we'll watch how temperatures do trend. We'll see those rain chances coming back into the picture overnight, though, and towards tomorrow morning. And of course, that's what we're going to be watching for as far as the timing for that heavy rain threat, Mark.
It is tropical out there.
Very tropical.
A little sticky.
We are hoping for some drier air to take over this pattern.
All right, hopefully so. All right, see you in a few minutes, Chris. Thank you. Topping our news today, Lake Monona and Lake Wabeesa reached a new historic high level early this morning. The Clean Lakes Alliance said in a Facebook post that Lake Monona reached 848.40 feet above sea level this morning, which is 8.4 inches above the 100-year flood level. The Clean Lakes Alliance said before the recent flooding, Lake Monona's previous historic high level was reached on June in 2008. Lake Wabeesa is now at 847.63 feet above sea level, which is 7.56 inches above the 100-year flood level. The previous historic high level there was 847.22 feet. That was on June 17th, 2008. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin has released his 2019 capital budget. He says it'll take months to figure out what the city's long-term needs are in response to flooding in the city. Mayor Soglin says the budget was made 1 month ago, and since the flooding occurred 2 or 3 weeks later, there's nothing in the 2019 executive capital budget that accounts for the recent flooding.
Obviously have to either amend this year's budget or include changes for the 2020 budget. In any case, it will disrupt part of the long-term capital improvement plan.
Soglin announced in July that he will not seek re-election in April of next year. There are still multiple highways closed across the state. In Dane County, US 14 is closed between Cross Plains and Black Earth. In Marquette County, Highway 22 is closed in Montello. In Sauk County, parts of the highways 33, 113, 136, and 154 remain closed. For a full list of road closures, we have those on our website, channel3000.com. A toddler was found in a bathtub with the child's dead mother on Madison's north side Sunday. Police say it happened on Sachin Street. Police say the woman likely died of a drug overdose and was found face down in cold water by her grandparents at about 10:30 at night. Chief Mike Koval said the 2-year-old was cold but otherwise appeared to be okay. Police say the water was cold in the tub, suggesting she had been there for a while. Koval says the 25-year-old woman is a known heroin user. A Wanakee man is facing multiple charges, including 4th offense OWI. Dane County deputies responded to 5360 Westport Road just before 7 o'clock on Saturday Before their arrival, 38-year-old Corey Goen had left his vehicle and went into the Ohio River. Deputies were able to bring him back to land where he was taken into custody. Deputies say after searching his vehicle, they found a loaded handgun. Goen was booked on tentative charges of fourth offense OWI, a felon in possession of a firearm, and resisting arrest. Officials also say there was significant damage to his vehicle and are investigating his potential involvement in several hit-and-run crashes that occurred before his arrest. A confirmation hearing is underway for Brett Kavanaugh to become the next member of the United States Supreme Court. Mo Olengi is on Capitol Hill with more from what's expected to be a very partisan hearing.
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh held his daughter's hand as he arrived for the start of his confirmation hearing.
I'm very honored to be here, honored to have my family here. I'm here because of them.
The moment the hearing was gavelled into session, Democrats were calling to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. I ask for a roll call vote.
They're protesting the Trump administration's decision to withhold thousands of documents from Kavanaugh's time serving President George W. Bush.
What is with the rush? What are we hiding by not letting those documents come out?
I think we ought to proceed in regular order.
Republican Chairman Chuck Grassley turned back the Democrats' protests, saying the documents should not be released due to the confidential nature of his work.
The issues Judge Kavanaugh worked on are exactly the sort of issues that require, according to the Supreme Court, some assurance of confidentiality.
Republicans say Kavanaugh is more than qualified to take his seat on the bench, while Democrats are trying to paint him as an extremist who will do President Trump's bidding.
My own line of questioning today will principally focus on his extreme views on the power of the president to fire at will a special counsel or to refuse to obey a subpoena for evidence or testimony.
But with Republicans in control of the Senate, Democrats have little hope of keeping Kavanaugh off the bench. Mo Olengi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And Republicans say they want to confirm Kavanaugh in time for him to take his seat with the new Supreme Court when that session begins on the first Monday in October. Tropical storm Gordon threatens more than 8 million people along the Gulf Coast, where it's expected to make landfall as a hurricane by tonight. The National Hurricane Center says top sustained winds are now 65 miles an hour. A hurricane warning is up from the Louisiana-Mississippi border to the Florida Panhandle. Gordon will bring powerful winds, dangerous storm surge, and heavy downpours, maybe as much as 12 inches of rain from now until Thursday. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards is taking no chances, issuing an emergency declaration ahead of the storm making landfall and mobilizing 200 National Guardsmen.
These guardsmen will be pre-positioned primarily in southeast Louisiana, along with 63 high water vehicles, 39 boats, and 4 helicopters.
Officials with the National Hurricane Center say we could see 3 to 5 feet of surge, possibly causing millions of dollars in flood damage. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Get ready for an old-fashioned chicken and dumpling recipe that'll knock your socks off. It's hot, it's hearty, and the good news is it's guilt-free. One of the best parts of what I do is getting to read your emails and letters. And for all of you who have asked us for more diabetes-friendly recipes, I want to share one from our latest cookbook, Guilt-Free Comfort Favorites. It's approved by the American Diabetes Association and is jam-packed with recipes that have all the comfort without all the guilt. Today, I'm going to share one of my favorites. It's an old-fashioned chicken and dumpling recipe, and it's perfect for this time of year. We start by simmering lots of carrots and celery in chicken broth until they're tender. Then we add some pulled chicken and let everything simmer together. Right before we're ready to serve it, we top it with a quick throw-together dumpling dough and let it steam until they're light and fluffy. Let me assure you that even though this big bowl of comfort looks and tastes like a guilty pleasure, it's not. In fact, it's ADA approved. To get the recipe for our old-fashioned chicken and dumplings, or for information on where you can get a copy of our new book, simply go over to our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a comforting, guilt-free way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. It's good?
Thank you, Howard. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. It's an alert day. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have your first alert forecast when we come back. Well, Samsung calls back the flip phone and a price matching program for college tuition. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
Stocks started September lower on worries about U.S. trade tensions with Canada and China. The U.S. and Canada failed to reach a new agreement to replace the current North American Free Trade Agreement by last Friday's deadline. Get ready for Samsung's newest device. According to CNBC, the company is planning to release a foldable smartphone this year. The reveal is expected to happen at its developer conference in November. That would be around the time Apple's latest devices are expected to hit store shelves. Luggage is going to cost you more if you're flying United Airlines. The air carrier matched a move by JetBlue, raising the price of a checked bag from $25 to $30. A second bag is now $40. United Airlines is the first legacy U.S. carrier to raise its baggage fees. And colleges are sweetening the pot in a bid to attract the best students. So much so, some private institutions are offering to match tuition of public schools, according to the Wall Street Journal. Oglethorpe University outside of Atlanta has offered to match the tuition of any state school for high-achieving students. The competition is so fierce, even public universities in states including Michigan, South Dakota, and Nebraska are letting students pay as if they are locals. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. The Dow Industrial is down 97 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ also down 47.5. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn this week. So here are your farm numbers. Pam will be back with us next week, but Chris Reese is here with us now. Last thing we need is more rain, but it's coming.
That's right, it sure is. And some folks over the past 24 hours have really seen a lot of rain, Mark. I mean, we're talking anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain in some places, especially north and west of Madison, but also south of Madison, just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois border. They've had a lot of rain there as well. Some of those totals coming up on the 2 to 5 inch mark. So we are watching the heavy rain threat as we go into the afternoon and evening, just because some of those same areas could see a lot of it. Now, as you look out right now, it actually looks rather nice out there. You've got some cumulus clouds starting to build, but for the most part, you're actually seeing some sunshine, which is something you really haven't seen much of this weekend. The temperature 84 degrees, the dew point's in the low 70s, so that air is very tropical feeling. Other temperatures are in the 80s as well, 86 in Janesville, Lone Rock and Bosco Bell, both at 86 as well. Same for the Dells. So we're already starting to see a lot of those temperatures making it into the upper 80s. That's because we have sunshine in play. The thicker cloud cover keeping things cooler back to the north and west. That is also where they are seeing the showers and the thunderstorms right now. That goes all the way back through the central plains, even into Texas, and ultimately to the Gulf Coast as well. Now here's future track as we go through the rest of the afternoon. And by the evening time, we might see a shower or two beginning to pop up, but overnight the heaviest rain remains north and west of town, and into tomorrow morning we'll see some showers and thunderstorms moving into the Madison area. But that's why you see a lot of the flash flood watches well to the north and west of here. That's just because that is where a lot of that heaviest rain is going to be. Now at this point you're saying, Chris, why have we had so much rain? Well, the answer lies in the upper atmospheric setup. We've had this dome of high pressure across the eastern half of the country that's tapped into tropical moisture under that clockwise wind flow and really sent plumes of moisture into the upper Midwest. Then you get the jet stream involved. That's helped to produce regions of low pressure that have then tapped into that tropical moisture and really kind of pulled that in to Wisconsin, developing thunderstorms that have just rained out all of that moisture that has been in place. But you could even track that tropical moisture right now. Watch the river of moisture as it moves into western Wisconsin later on tonight. Then the wild card is whatever happens with Gordon. He's likely going to get into the mix. Dry air trying to come in, but then wherever he goes will pose more moisture for a lot of folks. He'll make landfall as a hurricane tonight, but then it's very likely that the track of his low brings him into at least northern Illinois, if not southern Wisconsin. So we are going to be watching that very closely as we go through the rest of the week and into the weekend. In the meantime, rain chances today and tomorrow. A little bit of a break towards the end of the week, but as we approach the weekend, there are those rain chances once again. Whatever kind of influence Tropical Storm Gordon has on that, we will of course be paying close attention to. Another break for the start of next week before more midweek rain chances. So they're starting to space out, and there are signs that eventually this pattern turns a little bit drier. One can only hope. That is how it stays.
All right, keep an eye on things.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. There is more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next, Angie Edge with the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin's here. She'll be sharing an appetizer, a recipe that includes Wisconsin cheese. Imagine that. It's coming up after this.
News
Angie Edge from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin's here with our monthly recipe. Good to see you. Back to school.
Back to school, a big day.
Still summer harvest,
Yes.
football, we got everything going on here.
Yeah, so we're celebrating the final days of summer with some recipes that are paired perfectly with the end of summer produce and of course, Wisconsin cheeses. And we have a great back to school recipe that's quick and easy for families to make. And it's fresh corn nachos with a homemade salsa featuring Wisconsin Munster cheese. So very simple to make. I've highlighted all of the ingredients right here. You're gonna saute your onions in your frying pan with a little bit of chili powder and cumin, and then you're gonna add in all these fresh ingredients. So we have black beans, we have fresh corn, we have some smoked turkey. This is actually a fresh salsa recipe that you can make with your garden tomatoes, a little cilantro, And you're asking, what's the best ingredient?
I bet cheese.
We have some cheese. This actually features 1 1/2 cups of this Munster cheese, and it's shredded. So you want to shred your Munster when it's firm and it's chilled so that it shreds best or cubes best. And you're going to actually bake that right on top of your nachos. So very tasty and delicious.
So this goes in the oven?
It goes in the oven, or you can put it in your microwave. So the Munster is actually everyone's favorite because it melts beautifully. It has a mild, nutty flavor. And actually, a lot of our cheesemakers in Wisconsin make Munster cheese because it is so popular. You'll notice that Wisconsin cheese logo. This one's made locally in Monticello, Wisconsin.
So it's originally from Germany?
Originally from Germany, exactly. And it melts so great that it's perfect for nachos, perfect for burgers, macaroni and cheese, grilled cheese. One of those popular cheeses we make here in Wisconsin.
Just all purpose?
Yes.
So this all goes together?
It all goes together. You can top
in?
it off with some more of the salsa that we talked about, and of course some dairy sour cream, maybe even some more cheese.
Can't have enough cheese.
No, you can't.
Never can. Recipes online along with some other great back-to-school stuff?
Yeah, you can find this along with a lot of other recipes that feature fresh summer produce paired with Wisconsin cheeses.
Always good stuff on there. WisconsinCheese.com from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Angie, happy September.
Yes.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is. Back to school, back to cheese, back to football.
Back to football, yeah. Packers
Yes.
play on Sunday. All right, all is well. We'll see you next week?
Yeah.
Next month?
Next month.
Next
Yeah.
month. Chris is standing by in the Weather Center. One final check your forecast.
That's right. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, enjoy that sunshine that we have out there. It's a welcome change as opposed to yesterday. Temperatures already greater than 83, actually. We'll likely see them into the middle and upper 80s for your highs. I cannot rule out the chance of a thunderstorm popping up this afternoon. Remember, those flash flood watches are in play to our north and west. That's where the heaviest rains will fall overnight and into tomorrow morning.
All right, keep an eye on things. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. The polar bear's out at the zoo. Have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.